And we're back. I'm joined by my friend Naven.
Yo.
And this time we're going to go, well, it's Friday again, and it's Binge Worthy Friday time.
I'm going to give you all of those shows you definitely need to watch, or you should be watching, or binging this weekend when you have nothing to do or you just want to stay home all weekend.
Exactly. The first show that we're going to start off with this week is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a 1-hour show it's on ABC. It's in its third season right now. If you binge watch it this weekend, you'll be able to catch up for the rest of the season that's currently going on. The show currently revolves around Agent Coulson, who, if you've seen any of the other movies or the earlier Marvel movies, you'll be familiar with him. He's been tasked by Nick Fury to come up with this team that's been meant to react to the threats that come out from the events of the first Avengers movie. They have these secret organizations that have taken a technology that was left over by the aliens, and they have all kinds of nefarious plans for them. And Phil Coulson and his Scooby Gang are meant to deal with those threats. It brings a lot more to the forefront. Pretty much everything that can't be fit into the movies as they go along show up on the show.
It's a lot more in depth. So if you're a big Marvel fan, then there are a lot of Easter eggs in here. There are a lot of storylines that you would never really probably see in a big budget movies.
The best way I could sum it down, I would say, would be sort of like a light-hearted version of the X-Files. They have a lot of episodes are the formulaic monster of the week type episodes until the main story arc kicks in, and then you pretty much can't let go of the show. And especially, like I said, if you're even somewhat remotely familiar with the Marvel movies, the way the show is set up, it revolves directly around whenever each movie gets released in the theaters.
Yes, it's within the current movies that pop up. So
right, it's a direct
it interweaves
tie
itself with those movies.
Yeah, and you'll even see a lot of the characters that show up in the Marvel movies show up. Like Nick Fury pops in every now and then. Same goes for Agent Carter. If you've seen the first Captain America movie, she shows up in a flashback.
Lady Sif is
Lady
in
Sif
it,
from
so
the Thor movies
definitely,
shows up.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're direct tie-ins, and that's what I like about the Marvel shows, as opposed to the DC shows. The DC shows might be very good and written, but they're all standalone, and one does not really interact with the other. All the Marvel, anything that's on TV or movies is connected, and that's what I really did. Yeah.
It builds that larger universe that you're used to with the multitudes of comic books. Because in the comic books, you have crossovers, you have all of these different comics where all your superhero friends all interact in one book or in one series of books. It's definitely like that with all these Marvel shows, and Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is sort of the jewel on a network television show.
Right. The big thing that I like about it is you don't have to invest yourself, at least the writers don't have to invest themselves into building up sense of the world. You already know what Marvel is about, and these characters or the show kind of fills in the gaps either between movies or the background that's happening during the movies and what happens after the movies. So you if you've seen the movies, you're already invested into it, and if you have any interest in continuing how the story goes, definitely start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, now as far as characters go, we have, as the aforementioned, Phil Coulson. He is this laid-back dude, but he's an ass kicker. So it's somebody you don't want to mess with.
Would you call him an ass kicker?
I would. He does. And he's sort of like the father figure of the whole team. Sky's the female lead of the show. She's this hacker that is on this crusade against S.H.I.E.L.D. She believes they're sort of like this Men in Black type organization that it's out to pretty much do whatever the hell they want with whoever they want, and she wants to stop them from doing that, or at least expose all of their secrets. The twist on it is she gets captured and then recruited all within the first episode, and starts helping them. And
she's a strong character, and she doesn't necessarily follow orders per se. She's sort of the rebel in a military unit. It plays up within the first season, and her trying to fit into the group and into this unit.
Right. Here's an asterisk to everything. The show starts off slow. I would say watch the second episode and skip to like the 7th. But here's the proviso on that. They drop tidbits within those between episodes that affect the later part of the season. And once the season picks up, or once the show picks up, you're invested throughout the following 2 seasons.
I wouldn't say it is a bit of a slow build up, but the thing is with the slow build up is they have some of the Monster of the Week stuff in that slow build up, but it definitely builds. Those episodes to me are the character building ones, the ones that you learn more about the characters, so you get that history of them, because these characters a lot of people don't know, so you're definitely building up that relationship between you and the character and how the characters interplay. They are slow. Those first 5 or 6 episodes, it's not you're gonna have to watch it every week sort of thing.
That's what's different about this show, is that there's already an existing world, and there's already been, I think it's 6 movies that lead up to the origin of this particular group. But within that are little breadcrumbs that lead to this bigger event that happens
in the movies.
In not only in the movies, but in the show itself. Because the show revolves very closely to the events of the movie. So if you have the patience, definitely stick through it. It's definitely worth your while. It's not a hard show to watch. It has a lot of comedic moments. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody.
It's a great show to watch. Obviously, I think we're both huge Marvel fans, so yeah, we love all the Easter eggs and that kind of stuff. But if you've never seen it before, it's still a great show because all the characters are they're very well defined, and you get that interplay with the cast. They seem to have really good chemistry. It kind of comes across like this great casting with a great story, and you just get a little bit of everything. Like Franco was saying, you get story, you get action, you get drama, you get romance. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. So it's not your typical sci-fi type of show.
Yeah. So go ahead and watch it and comment below on what you think. And now to move on to the next show for this weekend.
Right, we're going to go into my pick for this week, which is House of Cards. If you haven't seen House of Cards, you're a sad, boring person, and you probably need to fix that. House of Cards it's an hour-long show. It's on Netflix, so you can definitely binge it. It's not too long, and when I say I think at around 13 episodes a season, so it's definitely
something
binge worthy, and yeah, that's like 130 hours a season.
Wrong math. It's 13 hours.
Yeah, it's 13 hours.
100. I don't think there are 130 hours in a weekend.
My math is strong. Yeah, all of the maths. Yeah, so they're 1 hour long episodes. They're 13 episode seasons, and they're starting their 4th season on March the 4th. So basically, when this video drops, you can go ahead and binge all the way into its current season. So House of Cards is set in present-day Washington, D.C., and it follows around Congressman Frank Underwood, who's played by Kevin Spacey. So, all the acting right there.
Mm-hmm. Hardcore acting or just regular acting?
No, this is actually good acting, not so much the hardcore acting.
Okay.
But it follows Frank Underwood, and he gets screwed over for appointment of Secretary of State. It's something he really wanted, and then he starts with his wife, Claire Underwood, who's played by Robin Wright.
A.K.A. Janae.
It's Frank Underwood trying to get into a bigger position of power within the government after being screwed over for a Secretary of the State. So this show is basically about ruthless pragmatism, I think was something that I read, and it's definitely a great description of the show. It's about manipulation. It's about power. The show itself it's not like a boring sort of procedural or something.
It's not like West Wing?
It's not like the West Wing or any of those shows that you see on network TV. This is like Game of Thrones, but the present day political version. It's all of the things that you think that would never happen, you never see happen in like a network show. This happens. And there are definitely moments a la Game of Thrones, Red Wedding, where it will leave your jaw on the floor. And you're just sitting there like, oh my God, did that really just happen? And again, This is all set in present day. So some of the things that happen in the shows is very much shocking, and it leads you to think that this would never happen in real life, would it? But then you sit there and you think about it for 2 seconds, and you're like, maybe this has already happened in real life.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking as well. I was like, how realistic is it? Because, I mean, there's this other show that I watch that's called The Brink. That one is the far end of the spectrum. How realistic would you say?
This one is actually, it's fairly realistic it's everyone trying to keep their power and everyone trying to outmaneuver each other. There are lobbyists that are heavily involved in getting things done. There are under the table deals. There's all this shadiness. Everything that you think that Congress in Washington D.C. and the whole political system is like right now, this is what this show definitely feeds into and off of.
So what you're saying is this is a perfect show to watch during an election year.
This is textbook definition of an amazing political show that you think that it's fake, but when you try to mirror it to real life, it's kind of scary how much you think that this could probably happen in real life.
Now, does it have its like comedic moments, or is it like straight up serious? Or
it's serious. I would say a lot of the times there's a bit of comedy in it, but it's very much like a hardcore sort of. I mean, this is everyone it's everyone trying to get power and everyone trying to like use and screw everyone else.
Okay.
So it's that sort of. It's a drama in that perfect drama aspect, but it's not long and drawn out. The writing is really, really good, and every episode leaves you on a, oh my god, what the hell is going to happen next? All right, well, like I said, the show revolves around Frank Underwood. He's a congressman from South Carolina. He's a Democrat from South Carolina.
Which I think is kind of far-fetched.
Some of it is a fake show, so... and he's played by Kevin Spacey, like I said. And he's a great character. He's got this perfect blend of ruthlessness and likability that you're rooting for him, all while he's screwing all these other, like, sometimes good people, sometimes bad people. So there's a moral compass to Frank that's not necessarily ever pointing north.
It's broken.
It's pretty broken. It's pretty broken.
So you wouldn't necessarily call him a good guy.
He's not a good guy, but I don't know if I would call him a bad guy either. I guess it depends on your point of view.
He's the bad guy that you're rooting for.
No, I wouldn't even say that. He is what you make of him. I think everyone will have their own opinion as to if Frank is a good guy or a bad guy.
Uh-huh.
If you like bad guys, then he's a bad guy that you like. Mm-hmm. If you like good guys, then you think he's a good guy that, again, has a meandering compass.
I gotcha.
Of morality, yeah.
I gotcha.
And then he has the perfect counterpart to Frank in all of this is his wife, Claire Underwood, played by Robin Wright. Jenna. And she runs an NGO, and she's very similar to Frank. They're the perfect combo of what you think this person that wants all this power to be with his wife, who equally wants her share of power and to be, not to be known per se, but she definitely wants to have influence and wield it as she pleases. Mm. Then there's some other characters that revolve in the series itself. They're not, each season doesn't have all of the same characters because it evolves in a way that not all of the characters are there for each season. But another recurring character that's in it all the time is Frank's consigliere, his main man, his henchman, whatever you want to call him. His name is Doug Stamper, and he's his chief aide. He sounds like a Bond villain, to tell you the truth. He kind of is a little Bond villainish. He's the henchman. He's Frank's loyal chief of staff. He literally does anything and everything to protect Frank, to make sure that all of his wishes are manifested.
Gotcha.
And he's I mean, to me, he's a really, really brilliant character. I would say of all the characters, I love Frank the most, but Doug is definitely like in my top list of characters. Kate Mara is in it, and she plays a reporter that is there to be an aid and a foil to Frank. It's one of the better written shows that I've seen. It's really quick in terms of its pace. It's really clever in terms of its schemes and some of the things that come along. As far as getting into the series, to me, it'll take 2 episodes to get you hooked like it was heroin. It's amazing how great this show is. After you see the 2nd episode and then the 3rd episode, it is the mother of all snowballs. And I watched the entire 1st season in a day.
So, and if you're lucky enough to time it right, you'll be able to watch straight into the 3rd or 4th
season.
The 4th season, right into the 4th season, which premieres the same day as this video.
Yeah, March 4th.
So there you have it.
Those are our picks for the weekend.
And just let us know what you thought about them. Comment below. Let us know if you watched it, if you've already watched it and agree with us. Or if you disagree with us, let us know either way. We definitely want to hear what you have to say about our picks. Also, if you have any recommendations for next week, please let us know that as well. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. And on that note, we're out of here.